Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Your favorite podcast. And there's a number of things. One thing that really caught my eye recently, and I know I'm getting into this early, but it's early in the week, so let's talk about it. I'm a little late to the party, but lawmakers are down in El Salvador, or they were. I don't know if they're still down there. I haven't done my research on it yet. But I know they were down there. Democratic lawmakers were down in El Salvador protesting. Well, not protesting. It's sort of a protest, like a silent protest. They are down there fighting for Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who was a citizen who was illegally deported from the United States on March 15th of 2025. They're down there taking a stand, and we're not leaving until he's released. That's what they're saying. Trump administration has already called it an administrative error, unquote. But it's weird because I've seen this before. I've seen this where the Democrats, the left will just prop up this person who is their poster child for, revolution or whatever the hell you want to call it. First it was George Floyd, and now it's this guy. It's weird to me. I don't know this guy. I don't know anything about him. I know he's got a wife and 3 kids, and he lived in Maryland. He was a citizen of El Salvador, though. So what constitutes an illegal deportation? I don't understand what that has to do with anything. Now, I'm sure it's going to be taken to the Supreme Court. They're going to figure out if he's able to come. I'm sure he's going to come back. I'm sure he's going to be able to come back. Everyone's getting their panties in a bunch for no reason. This guy, I don't know what constitutes him being here illegally. I don't know. If he doesn't have the right papers or documentation, then no, he shouldn't be here. But I'm seeing, the thing is, these are just the ones that are hitting the main headlines. This isn't everywhere, because this is happening in a lot of places. I know that there's someone near where I live where her spouse was deported. He was here illegally. He was here on he wasn't here illegally. I think he was here on a student visa or something like that. So that's legal. But he was an activist, and he's from, I don't know where he's from. It's not anywhere like Central America or anything, or South America. It's nowhere like that. It's way on the other side of the world. And he's gone. They took him, and they set up a GoFundMe for him, and because he has a small child. But he was involved in protests in Minneapolis. And, I don't know. I guess it's weird because this is kind of a gray area. It's something that you should be able to say what you want, but I guess I don't know. It's kind of a moral gray area, because you can't expect people who come here from a different country you can expect them to abide by the rules, but our constitutional rights allow us to freely speak and criticize the government. I don't know if that's just for U.S. citizens or what, but there's a lot of things that are going on, and I guarantee you there are going to be some mistakes that are made on behalf of the Trump administration, where they're going to deport some people that probably shouldn't be deported. I'm sure that's a possibility. I'm not going to say that this administration is going to get everything right. It's still early yet. It's still within the first year, first 3 months of this administration. And I don't know. It's tough to, I'm not going to say that I regret my vote, because I don't. I feel like Trump was the correct person to be in office at this time. But backtracking to what I was saying about Kilmar Abrego Garcia, so these lawmakers are down there, and they're really fighting tooth and nail for this guy. They want to care about this guy. It's crazy though. If he's not a citizen, What are you doing down there? The real question is, worry about your own things that are happening in your own backyard. Don't worry about people who are not citizens, because guess what? We got people in America who are struggling and suffering. And I think it was someone on X, they posted this long rant. He's an African American gentleman. And he said, African American Democrats, just think about this for 1 second. Like, your Democrats, the people that you voted into office that are on the left, are down there in El Salvador saying that they're not going to arrest, or they're not going to leave until this guy is released, blah, blah, blah. And he said, think about this, because you guys were played again. What are they doing for your community? What are they doing for U.S. citizens? They're not doing a single thing for us. They, for some reason, when America does well, that's when the left starts to really, really lose their mind. And they're so worried about world issues instead of national issues, like our issues that are here. It's kind of a weird double-edged sword, because I feel like, this is an opinion, this isn't me saying that this is the way it is, I'm allowed to speak my opinion, I feel like it's like the left gets paid to divide citizens. But you got to remember this, both parties serve the same master. Now, you want to get into some real shit like that's true. Like, they do. They serve the same master. Do we know who that is? No. We don't know. But there's just plenty of things like going on in the world right now that are odd. Like, not even the world. That's a stupid thing to say. Not in the world. There's, in our country alone, there are issues that we're facing. People on the poverty line, drug addicts, Skid Row, things that, homelessness, hunger in our country. There's just, it's an asinine thing to go to a different country and try to meddle in their little problems and be like, oh, this is what's you got to do with this. It's like, dude, fuck off. Like, and that was the whole point of USAID. That was what it was. International funding. That's what it was. Like, why are we funding other places to overthrow other, like, why are we trying to make every place like America? What is the point of that? That's why people come here in the first place, because it's not like everywhere else in the world. You have more freedom. Is our freedom actually free? I don't know. You can say whatever you want, but we have our own issues here. We have our own things that we need to deal with here in our own backyard, in our own country. Why would we not want to make sure that we are 100% good, if not better, before we start trying to meddle in the whole entire world? What's the point of that? I understand we need to keep our allies. I understand we need to keep trades good. We need to keep things on the up and up. But we don't need to be funding wars that have nothing to do with us. We don't need to be worried about Israel-Palestine. We don't care. Like, I don't care about that. That's not going to affect me tomorrow. It won't. It really, really won't. And that's just irritating. That it seems like, all these promises were made before Trump got in. Like, oh, we're going to drill. We're going to do this. I understand that those things take time. I understand it's not going to be done on day one. I get that. I understand that. However, some of us are really chomping at the bit here. Some of us who voted right but are somewhere in the center. Don't get me wrong. Some of those executive orders were great at the beginning. 1,500 executive orders? Is that how many there were? I don't know. I'd have to fact check that. But it was a lot of executive orders from the beginning. Yes, those are great. You can go and look. You can go and see all this stuff. Like, there's tons of resources on the White House, the whitehouse.gov website. There's tons of them. Tons of things we can look into. But, where was I going with that? I feel like a lot of the promises that were made were a little bit premature, You know, obviously we understand, like, Congress is going to have a say in a lot of this. Supreme Court can block some things. Judges are trying to block things, like that judge in Milwaukee or Wisconsin or wherever. I can't remember if it was Wisconsin or not. I can't remember if it was Milwaukee, but I know it was in Wisconsin. She was arrested for trying to block ICE from doing deportations. She fucked around and she found out real quick. I mean, she got released instantly. There's nothing, that's not obviously they're not going to hold her forever. But, there's things that don't mesh well here. I mean, you try to get in the way of federal agents doing their jobs, like, you're probably going to get screwed over. And that's just the truth. I mean, there's nothing glamorous about it. But I mean, I don't know. I digress. There's tons of things that are going on right now in our country. Like, police officers are being killed. Students are being stabbed at track meets. And then that kid is getting out. The murderer is out. He's out. They lowered his bond and he's out. So you're lowering his bond. Why? Because he's a kid? I mean, shit. The thing is, you stab someone, you kill someone, you should probably sit in there till your trial. And if it's in Texas, I know that their laws are a little bit harsher than everywhere else. They are like the reddest of the red state. But, hey, what the heck do I know, right? Let's talk about that too. The internet is up in arms and up in division when it comes to Carmelo Anthony and the Austin Metcalf thing. Like, you're seeing all these wild threads on Facebook where people are like, oh, he deserved it. Don't touch, or, in reference to Austin Metcalf, oh, he deserved it. Don't touch people if you don't want to deal with the consequences. These are all quotes from these people. And it's crazy to me. It's crazy. It's crazy because I've never met anyone in person who actually believes that. Who actually believes that the way that he reacted was 100% fine, totally justified. But there's tons of people who are, I don't know. I guess I don't know. It's up. Yeah, the internet is completely up in arms over this and divided. And it's so silly. It's so stupid. It's such a terrible point to defend someone who killed somebody. But they always use, like, oh, well, what about Derek Chauvin? What about this? Like, dude. It's just crazy. It's odd. It's an odd thing to defend. I don't get it. Like, the thing is, I've said this before and I'll say it again, you have the right to defend yourself, number one. But you don't have the right to stab someone if they touch you. Or if you're clearly, I don't know who the aggressor was. There's obvious eyewitnesses that are out there that are saying, the trial hasn't even happened yet. So whenever that happens, we'll see what, I don't know what's going to happen with this whole case. I don't know if he's going to go to prison for the rest of his life, or if he's gonna, walk free. Who knows? You never know. You never know what's gonna happen. But there's a lot of push behind this, and the whole judge lowering Anthony's bond is kind of crazy, to be honest with you. And now she is the victim of, like, doxing. I don't know who's behind this doxing of her, but so she lowered, let's read through this. So Judge Angela Tucker she reduced Carmelo Anthony's $1 million bond to $250,000. She's apparently a target in this alleged doxing hoax. FBI is investigating it. The Texas judge who reduced the $1 million bond for 17-year-old Austin Metcalf, accused killer, was targeted in a doxing hoax. That's a hoax. So the Collin County Sheriff's Office, in coordination with the FBI, is investigating the alleged doxing of Collin County Judge Angela Tucker, who agreed to significantly reduce Frisco track meet stabbing suspect 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony's bond. Due to the nature of the situation, we are coordinating with the FBI and our Fusion Center to monitor for any concerning rhetoric or propaganda that could incite violence, the sheriff told KDFW. Doxing is defined as a form of cyberbullying, involves publicly posting someone's personal information without consent. If this rings a bell at all, like with the Tucker Carlson thing, when that happened during the George Floyd riots, his public address was posted online, and people showed up and they vandalized his home. It's not right on either side. Don't dox your enemies. Don't dox someone who you don't agree with. That's seriously beyond messed up. Like, you can't do that. You cannot do that. It's so weird. It's so odd to do that to somebody that you just don't agree with. It's like, you can have a difference in opinion and still not, like, you don't have to get along with that person. You're never going to meet this person. You're never going to meet this judge who reduced his bond. You may not agree with it, but you can't post her address or anything like that, and you can't just show up at her house. This type of harassment is illegal in the state of Texas if it involves posting another person's private information without consent with the intent to cause harm or to incite harm against them. That's a Texas penal code. If someone is harmed during a doxing event, it also becomes a felony in Texas. Local law enforcement officials told KDFW some court staff and concerned citizens reported that people were publishing Judge Tucker's address on social media after she agreed to reduce Anthony's bond, which was initially set at $1 million. This is a quote. Our main priority remains ensuring the judge's safety and appropriate security measures have been implemented, the Collin County Sheriff's Office said in a statement. Anthony was released from jail after Tucker lowered his bond to $250,000. Tucker, who presided over a bond reduction hearing, claimed his was set too high for someone with no criminal history. Understandable, but you killed somebody. So Anthony allegedly, no, this is where I differ from Fox. Anthony is on record saying it's not alleged. I did kill this kid. Now they're saying that Anthony allegedly killed Metcalf over a seating dispute during a high school track meet in Frisco on April 2nd. We all know the story. He was freed from the Collin County Jail after his bond was reduced from $1 million to $250,000. He is charged with first-degree murder. Anthony reportedly confessed to stabbing Metcalf when he was arrested by a school resource officer at Kuykendall Stadium in the minutes after the attack. When one officer told another he had the alleged stabbing suspect in custody, Anthony apparently said, "I'm not alleged, I did it," according to an arrest report. Anthony also asked the officers if Metcalf was going to be okay and asked if what happened could be considered self-defense. The Metcalf family has also fallen victim to disturbing incidents since their son's death. Jeff Metcalf, the father of the slain track star, told Fox News Digital his home was swatted hours after a heated press conference hosted by the spokesman of the family for the family of Anthony. Frisco police confirmed there have been at least 3 swatting calls made at homes linked to the Metcalf family this month. Why? So this is it's like a weird kind of like a swatting war. It's like a proxy war almost, where you're going to have someone's house swatted because you don't agree with what happened. It's like a dig at them. It's just like doxing this judge. It's just asinine and crazy. You don't have to agree. You can have this hate in your heart all you want to, but as soon as you start getting like SWAT involved, or you start showing up at this person's house and harassing them or threatening to incite violence on them, like, you this is so weird. Like, these are people who have clearly grown up in a world without consequences. Or, number one, they were bullied their whole lives, and they think that, you know what, now that I am out of high school, I can be a piece of shit to anyone I want to. Get your head out of your ass. You can't do that to someone. You can't have someone's house swatted. You can't dox someone. It's crazy. You can disagree all you want to. You can have a difference in opinion, but you can't be a fucking animal about it and basically be a cunt about it. That's crazy. Swatting is when 911 call is made, usually to report a fake violent crime, to get police and sometimes even SWAT teams to respond to an address given by the caller. It has increasingly been used as an intimidation tactic to target high-profile individuals and political rivals. That is true. And it's very weird to see these people get swatted left and right. It's clearly a waste of taxpayer money to get your political opponent swatted, or anyone that you don't agree with. And there's just other ways to go about this. Let the justice system deal with it. It may be a flawed, broken system, but let them deal with it. It's their job. It's not your job to go out there and try to, get someone's house, knee deep in like fucking ARs and all that. Like, you don't need people with tactical weapons going in and look for what? What are they looking for? There's tons of the one thing that I'm seeing is so prevalent online, Facebook primarily. Yeah, I'm gonna throw Facebook under the bus with this one, because they're just, ever since they stopped doing the whole fact checking stuff, like everyone's calling Austin Metcalf KKK member, and saying, or they're calling him a thug, or they're saying that Carmelo Anthony's a thug. It's like, dude, these are fucking kids. One of them's dead, okay? One of them's not alive anymore. And to speak ill on someone because of the color of their skin or the way they were brought up is insane. I don't care. You can't have a racial bias towards someone. And yeah, newsflash, racism can go either way. It's not just against black people. It's not just against Mexican people. It's not just against, Latinas. It's not against Asian people only. It can also be against white people. But they think in their minds, in their tiny little brains that they have, the leftists, they think that because white people oppressed, people of color for so long, that they deserve what comes around. So this is the coming around. This is the reckoning that they deserve. And it's kind of a wild take. It's very crazy to even say such a thing, that you can't be racist against white people. It's like, yeah, you obviously can. You can be racist against any person who's a different color from you. You can be that. It's wild. The justifications just never end. And I don't get it. I'm not here to try to understand it, but it can go either way. And newsflash, white people were not the first ones to enslave a person of color. Like, this is not the first time. Slavery's been around for thousands of years. Since the beginning of time, slavery's been around. And it's still around now. In fact, there's more people who are in slavery now than there were when slavery was legal. Okay? That's something to definitely think about. Slavery still happens to this day. Whether it's human trafficking, whether it's prostitution, which is also a form of human trafficking. Whether it's, maid service or whatever the fuck you want to call it, butler service, like that's slavery. They may not be fairly compensated. So, but the thing about the left is they don't really believe in anything. They believe in whichever way the tide is going, that's what they believe. Even though it contradicts what they believed 5 minutes ago. And I'm seeing a lot of conservative influencers do the same thing. They don't believe in anything. They believe in what they're told to believe. Their belief system lies within whichever way the kite is flying. It has nothing to do with what's right or what's wrong. I think if you have somewhat of a moral compass, you will not belong to any party. You don't have to belong to any party. If you have a moral compass, you have high morals and values, just do what you think is right. What you think in your heart or in your mind, in your brain, what you think is right, just stand by that. Don't be a flip-flopper. Don't be a chameleon. Don't just shape-shift. Don't change for other people just to be accepted. But that's kind of a need that people have. They want to be accepted. They need to be accepted. They need to be liked because it's a tribal thing. It's primal. We still have that instinctual thing where we need to feel included in something, whether it's a tribe that you belong to. Maybe you're part of the LGBTQ plus IA plus community, and you think that you need to, maybe you don't believe in mutilating kids' genitals. Maybe you don't believe in that, but in order to be accepted, you kind of have to. Maybe you don't believe that people who are here on student visas that write op-eds have to be deported. Maybe you don't believe that, but because you want to be accepted by MAGA, you need to stand by every decision that they make. I'm sorry, newsflash, you don't need to stand by any of those decisions that are being made right now. You don't need to stand by mutilating kids. You don't need to stand by the fact that men can't, you don't need to stand by the fact that men can get pregnant. Bullshit. You don't need to stand by the fact that every single person who's here illegally, even if they're even if they're tax-paying taxpayers, that if they're here illegally or they overstayed their visa, maybe you don't need to stand by that. If you truly don't believe that they're gang members or whatever, you're able to think for yourself. And I think there's a lot of people who are misguided, or they're afraid of rocking the boat, and they're afraid of, ruffling a few feathers. Like, you know what? Ruffle some feathers, man. Do what you got to do. Believe what you think is right. There's no shot in hell. The thing is, you're not going to make everyone happy. I'm going to piss a lot of people off by saying this. You're not going to make everyone happy. As long as you can lay your head down at night and you can sleep soundly, knowing that you stand by your morals and values of what you truly believe to be right, then you're winning. You're winning. Fuck what everyone else says. Fuck what the left says. Fuck what the right says. Who cares, man? If you believe in basic human right to live, eat, sleep, breathe, you should be fine. When it comes to picking pronouns, who gives a shit, dude? Who cares? People are gonna rock the boat. If you wanna have Zer, Zazim pronouns, whatever the fuck it is, you wanna have all that stuff, and people are still gonna misgender you, whatever. Water off a duck's back. Who cares? If you want to believe that, you have the right to throw a Nazi salute or whatever, whatever. You're going to piss a lot of people off. And you're kind of a retard if you believe that, though, too. Okay? And you're kind of a retard if you go by Zer, Zazim pronouns. I'm not saying you're a bad person. I mean, you throw a Nazi salute, you're a bad person. But that's not a good analogy. I'm just riffing here. But going back to the original point, you can't have people doxxed just because you don't agree with the decision that they made. Yeah, lowering his bond was fucking crazy. Lowering his bail was insane. And the thing is, whatever the outcome is with this whole case and this trial, if he goes to prison for the rest of his life, there's going to be riots. There's going to be riots in the street. It's going to be hell. It's going to be crazy. They always prop these people up for political gain, and it's absolutely disgusting. To prop someone up just to prove a point is just so stupid to me. Just to prove a political point, it's like, my gosh, dude. Just call it what it is. The kid made a bad decision. He stabbed somebody because he was raised to believe that that's okay. Maybe he had a bad day. I don't know. But on the flip side of the coin, there's a family who will not have a son coming home. He's gone. He's gone. He's probably in the ground already. And that stings. 2 misguided young boys. One of them is not going home. The other one might not go home anymore. He's probably just taking the time that he can right now. But to set up a GoFundMe for someone who murdered someone else in cold blood is absolutely crazy to me. How could you even do that? How could you do that and sleep at night thinking you are doing the right thing by funding a project like this? He killed someone. He killed someone. He admitted it. And he'll have to live with that for the rest of his life. I don't have to live with that for the rest of my life. I haven't killed anyone. And I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly fine knowing that I haven't killed anyone. But for some reason, he probably acted on impulse. His brain's not even developed yet. Neither of their brains are developed fully yet. Your brain isn't fully developed until you're 25. So their frontal lobe is like not fully there. So they act on impulse. That's why you see so many street fights of teenagers getting into these street fights, knocking other people out, people seizing up after they smack their head on the concrete. Like, it's all based on emotion. It's not based on critical thinking, logically thinking. It's all about like, oh, I have to be absolutely right. Someone's going to square up on me. I'm going to defend myself. And newsflash, people who are older than 25 still deal with that shit. They still aren't fully developed yet where they make those impulsive decisions. It's crazy. It's crazy. Grow up. Grow up. And another important point is, why did he have a knife at the track meet? Why? But let's just end on this. My best piece of advice that I could give you guys, and I know this is a contradiction, I've said this before. Turn off your computers. Take a break from social media. If you don't want to take a break from social media, take a break from the negative comments. Don't fight with people online. These people are going to have this opinion, quote unquote. I say that very loosely. This opinion that they're right. White people are bad. Black people are bad. Mexican people are bad. Latinos are bad. Asians are bad. You know, they're going to say that. They're going to take that to their graves. Because it's what they truly believe. At the end of the day, that's what they believe. And some people are just trolls. They just want to cause reactions. They just want to get reactions out of people. I do that once in a while. I troll a lot. But for people to be like absolutely just hate-filled. And I don't care what color your skin is. It doesn't matter. You can be filled with hate. You can disguise it as a generational trauma all you want to. But at the end of the day, you're just a hate-filled person. You're an ugly, disgusting person if you believe that. If you believe that all black people are bad or all white people are bad or all, insert the race. If you think that specific kind of person is bad, then you are part of the problem. You are. And that's a tough pill to swallow for a lot of people. Just get over it. Don't feed into the negative comments. Just live your lives. You can believe what you want, and you can have healthy discussions with people who disagree with you. I welcome those. It's just when it gets to the bickering, the bitchiness, and the back and forth, that I get into sometimes. It's like, gosh, at a certain point, like after the first comment, I just have to walk away from it. I have to walk away from it. It's not conducive to either party. And you can be, I can be right all I want to. Here's the thing. You can be right all you want to. But if that person is not willing to be open-minded and listen to you and actually take your point and see it from your side, or if you don't see it from their side, then you guys are never going to get anywhere, and it's best to just cut it off at that point. There's no point. No freaking point whatsoever. Some people just argue to argue. Some people just feel better when they argue with people. It's so stressful. It's so stressful. It's not worth it. And don't dox people. Number one, don't dox people. It's not a good look. At all. But That's my piece on that. And I know it's contradictory to even say that because I'm here posting this online. There might be negative comments, I'm sure. Maybe no comments, whatever. But why would you want to have your life filled with this, like, discontent? Like, you're not happy about anything whatsoever. What's the point of it? Like, what are you solving? And the thing is, those people who get into those negative tiffs with other people, it's like, when you walk away from that and you honestly think you won, like, do you really feel better about yourself? You actually feel better? Now, another thing that's been, it's a terrible segue, but another thing that was recently making headlines is RFK Jr., who's a current member of the cabinet, Secretary of Health and Human Services, was talking about looking into spike in autism among children in the more recent years. Obviously, he's written books on this. He's an I don't think he's anti-vax. I mean, this is something that I didn't care for him at the beginning until I actually started to do my research on him and what he stands for. And I think looking into vaccines, into what they're putting into them, is a smart thing. The thing that leaves a bad taste in my mouth is if your doctor, if your physician or your pediatrician is getting a kickback or a bonus for the certain amount of vaccines that they put out per year, if they're receiving a bonus for that, it's a little fishy to me. It's a little weird. It's a little odd. It's a little crazy. I mean, why would a doctor need a bonus for the amount of vaccines that they administer to children or to anyone for that matter? So he went on RFK went on stage and he talked about, he held a press conference for looking into vaccines, and he talked a healthily amount about autism. And that irritated a lot of people because he used the terms, see if we can get the transcript on this. Let's see. I would like to get the transcript because I can't really play it for you guys. It had there's tons of people saying, there's tons of headlines saying that it's a dangerous and inaccurate narrative that he put forward by saying that they were going to start investigating it. But he wasn't talking about, okay, so everyone, let me paint this picture for you guys. So everyone and their mother now, Gen Z, millennials, whatever. If you have some little quirky thing about you, for some reason you think that you can self-diagnose with autism, which is crazy. There are people who have severe autism. There are kids who are on the spectrum. There are people who go and have normal lives even after they've been diagnosed with autism. That's okay. What RFK was touching on here, but again, this is the whole, let me just talk about what he's touching on. So he's touching on kids with severe autism, like non-verbal, like hitting yourself in the face, punching holes in drywall, not being able to communicate, not being able to move out of your parents' house, not able to hold a job, not able to go in school without disrupting the whole class. He's not talking about these people who say, "Oh, I have autism because I I like to listen to funny music or something, whatever. I don't have an example to put forward. You see it all the time on TikTok or wherever. You see these people who clearly don't have autism, but they have some sort of a quirk about them, and they say, well, I have autism. Okay? You're able to fully comprehend sentences. You may have a low level of autism, which is fine. You're high functioning. That's what they call them, high functioning. You may like order. You may like routine. That's okay. That doesn't mean you're autistic. Okay? He's not talking about you. he's talking about these parents who are suffering. I don't want to say suffer. It's a slippery slope to use what kind of terminology with this. Autism does not destroy families. It does, however, if you look into certain threads where people are talking about this and how if they have a nonverbal, severely autistic child, it does put some sort of a crimp on the family. It can have an impact on the parent's love life. It can cause resentment with other siblings because they see this sibling getting more attention because they need more attention, because kids don't have that kind of discernment. They don't understand why their one sister or brother is getting more attention, and because they struggle more, and then the kids will start to resent that sibling at first. The mother and father could have, or the parents could have marital problems because of it. Because you're putting all your energy into that one child, and it's a trying thing, and it's something that is way more relevant in this day and age. You see a lot of it come from, who knows where it comes from, but RFK seems to think that it comes from vaccines or getting vaccinated at a certain time, and I agree with that. I can see that. I have a personal experience, and this is something that I'll talk about before we wrap this up. My son is 4. He's 4.5. He's going to be 5 in August. He had an assessment done at preschool, and they had told us that he may be on the spectrum. So, ever since, and this is what's crazy, I never thought about that before. He's a boy. He's got, he has things that, he gets stuck on things. It's okay. I get stuck on things. Does that mean I'm autistic? No. Does that mean he's autistic? Probably not. But I look into, we got him vaccinated, right away. So it's like if he were on the spectrum, that could be a vaccine, side effect, that he could have that. With my daughters, we waited. We waited a little bit. I don't know why we waited. It just seemed like it was something that was better off to wait. But anyway, going back to, he had this assessment. They had said that he was struggling with talking. Enunciation's hard for him. But they said that they wanted to refer him to special education. And my wife called me and she told me about it, and she was really worried, and I was really worried. And it was totally voluntary. But we worked with him. We worked with him on enunciation. He's much better now. The thing is, it blew my mind. They were just trying to label him. And I think that's kind of what's going on here, is there's a lot of labeling going on, because it's just another tax benefit for these schools. And it was totally voluntary. My wife and I, we decided against it, and we decided we're going to work with him, and we're going to see how we can do this differently. And he's made so much progress. It's immense progress that he's made with talking, being more aware of social cues and giving people personal space. It was something that he needed to have be guided on, because he's still a little kid. But for some reason they were oh yeah, we're just going to label him this and this and this, and you guys, just deal with it. I don't know if I've talked about this before, but if you're a young parent, or if this is your first child, and you get them assessed and they tell you that they're autistic, take that time to work on it, to see if you need to further them in special education if they need that. Because if they don't have your kid labeled for things that Don't have them medicate your kid right away. Don't have them do all of that stuff. Do what you think is right. I'm not going to tell you you can't get your child vaccinated. I'm not going to tell you that you shouldn't put your kid in special ed if they need to be put in special ed. I'm saying use your discernment to make the decisions that you feel are correct. You may not always be right. The thing is, if my wife and I, the thing is, if I didn't have my wife, if we didn't do this, if we didn't have this kind of difference in opinion, I would have put him in special ed right away. I would have put my son in special ed. I would have. Because I don't know any better. Again, I'm sort of an impulsive thinker. It happens. I'm not proud of it. But to just kind of believe that medical professionals or schooling, educational, figures are always right is not good. Because they're not always right. They're not always right. You have to start seeing the world for what it actually is. The world is kind of a very messed up place. I don't think we're being told the 100% truth all the time as U.S. citizens, as human beings. I don't think we're being told the truth all the time. And it's all about, again, here comes that right-wing idea, doing your own research. You just got to start doing your own research. You got to start reading up on autism studies. You got to start reading up on things. If you start to see things in your child or in anyone, your child, you take care of your own home. You don't need to start trying to go out and diagnosing other kids and be like, he has autism because he loves the color yellow, or he freaks out when you don't keep him on the same schedule. I freak out when I'm not on the same schedule. If I don't have the same routine every day, I lose it. I absolutely lose it. I lose it. I don't punch walls and stuff, but I do get wildly annoyed. But yeah, guys, just start thinking for yourselves. It's not a hard thing. You are going to get looked at a little bit differently though if you don't vaccinate your kid right away. I've been attacked online multiple times for not vaccinating my child right away. Basically being told they're not going to let their kids play with mine or blah, blah, blah. It's I don't fucking care. I don't care. I really don't care. You can say what you want. I got thick skin. So, I'm going to do what's right for my kids. I'm going to do what's right for my family. I'm going to do what's right for me. What I truly believe is correct. And if it goes against the grain, who cares, man? It's not your business. It's not your life. People can say what they want to me. I'm not going to go and cry myself to sleep over it. I think that about wraps it up, guys. This has been fun. It's been great. I appreciate you all. Have a good rest of your week. I will see you guys again next week, hopefully on video. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other, and have a wonderful rest of the week and weekend. Love you guys. God bless.